Economic impact of ending United States embargo on Cuba. The parties involved were the United States of America and Cuba. When it started out in 1962 when the embargo took place, and now with Barack Obama as president in 2014, the bilateral relationship started reconciling. So we are talking about over 5 decades of embargo on Cuba. The geographic location is the following. Its roots came from the US-Cuban Cold War. Fidel nationalized more than $1 billion in American assets, hiked taxes on American imports, and increased trade with the Soviet Union. The United States responded with escalating economic retaliation. After 5 decades, Barack Obama's presidency concluded nothing good came from the embargo and started the reconciliation. I will cover the following factors: remittances, tourism, telecommunications, agro-industry, and Cuban cigars. Obama's decision multiplies by 4 the amount of money from Cuban American citizens sent to Cuba. The rise of the remittances solves a problem faced by the Cuban economy, its growth. The government says that it needs at least $2,500 billion in foreign investment to maintain a growth rate. Trips to Cuba will increase, and the United States citizen will be able to use credit cards in Cuba. Around 170,000 American travelers were in Cuba in 2013. The new measures withdraw restrictions in 12 tourism categories. Cuba suffers from poor infrastructure and technology, including the internet and cell phone service. Their new relationship will allow American companies to work with Cuba. This will benefit both countries. Between 2000 and 2013, it is estimated that the U.S. food exportations to Cuba reached $5 million. In 2013, the exportations reached $300 million. Cuba imports about 60 to 65% of its food, a lot for a country with Cuba's agricultural potential. Cuban cigar fans will be happy now. American tourists are now able to take $100 in tobacco products when they return from their trips. The affected people may be the cigar sellers in the USA, but they stay hopeful that with more regulations they could be able to sell Cuban cigars on their own stores. Significance of events. New business opportunities are going to be opened in the future as Cuban citizens are going to be able to gain more money. The alliance that the United States and Cuba could form, and it will have a huge impact on America. Cubans are the 5th largest ethnic group in the USA. Cuba will become Americanized. It is an excellent opportunity for American multinational businesses and foreign investment, and they will not let it go. It will take a lot of time for sanctions and restrictions to become normalized, because diplomatic ties and politicals are very slow. Mexico could be a country that could have losses from this relationship. The tourism and cruises that came to Cancun or other Mexican islands are going to go now to Cuba, as the islands are really similar and will attract a lot of American tourism. Cuban product distributors as European multinational corporations will now control some part of distributions of products to the United States. Why? Because we have to follow the money. As Cuban products are already widely available in a lot of countries all over the world, the investors will take the opportunity. Even though it is a good way to protect your economy from others, an embargo is not always the best way to do it. As Obama says, this embargo has been useless and does not accomplish its goals. Besides the economic interest, it is a political and national security issue. This is because the military and economical powers, like China or North Korea, could form an alliance with Cuba, and it could represent an enormous threat to the United States.
created using Powtoon.